right, what's up? Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to PT on Ice Daily Show. I am Dr. Jeff Moore, currently serving as the CEO of ICE, lead faculty for the cervical spine and lumbar spine management courses. Thrilled to have you here on a Monday. Thank you for joining us. As first, business per usual, make sure you knock out the gut check Thursday. Okay, so it is max distance on the rower in a 10-minute period. Right, so as many meters as possible. I think I got 2672. I've seen some really good numbers coming in. I was hoping to grab 3,000, but I felt like I left it all out there, so I was okay with that. So make sure you knock out Gut Check Thursday. As far as courses that are coming up, we got a whole slew of them. So all of our online stuff, our persistent pain, modern management of the older adult, out-of-network step-by-step, telehealth, all 3 CMFA online courses, all of that starts in the first 2 weeks of the new year. So we are coming out hot. So if you want to jump into one of those courses, make sure you do so. As far as live courses for me, I've only got 2 seats left in the Orlando course, January 25th and 26th, and I don't think I have any other seats available in live courses until May. So if you want to jump into a course on that January 1 down in Orlando at Steve's Clinic could be a real good one. So some food for thought there. All right, so end of the year, folks, always time for a little bit of reflection, but a lot of projection and calculation and strategizing is how we see the end of the year. So if not now, when the Physio rebrand. Before we jump into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody on this call, everybody who's going to be listening to the recording, the podcast, wherever you bring in this information. Thanks for being along for the ride. It's been a massive year, 2019, for ICE as an organization, bringing on some key players, engaging with so many different people across the country. You know, I think about the areas in business that we've been able to expand, watching Sarah Heron really take over that out-of-network cash-based space and guide so many people to launching their own practices, to watch Rob Vining in that first telehealth cohort help folks launch a whole different arm of their existing practice. So been so cool to see all the clinical development that we've been creating for years now combined with these different business strategies and different components that are allowing folks to really blow up from an actual marketing and business standpoint. So just so cool to see all of that come together. And thanks for being along for that, and thanks for supporting that. Now, I do have a few specific thank yous I've got to throw out there before we jump into the actual topic. Right, the first one is anyone who did a gut check Thursday in 2019. Thank you. I mean, what a blast that has been. The mad scientist himself, Alan Frenendahl, COO of ICE, kind of giving us something that sucks every Thursday with a hilarious but also informative description on Facebook and Instagram, and then seeing literally thousands of people around the country doing this stuff. So thanks to everybody who did it. Special thanks to anybody who did it with friends, family, and staff. You know, I wish you all could see the backside of ICE Physio, where all these videos come in, where whole clinics are doing this stuff. Admin team, faculty team, discharge patients, everyone in there is rocking these workouts, right? People are putting it up on their whiteboard in the clinic every week and doing something that sucks together. We're seeing all sorts of family jumping in. We're seeing whole CrossFit gyms doing it, whole universities doing it. It has been incredible to see all of you embrace Gut Check Thursday. So thanks for spreading that and allowing all of us to kind of rally around doing something hard every week together. And Alan, of course, thank you, man, every week for putting that together for all of us and pumping it out to the profession. So thank you for that. Very similarly, thank you to everybody who's been sharing the Hump Day Hustling material. Right, so many of you have taken the content from that email and reorganized it and pumped it out to your individual communities, and that's the whole point, right? Allowing us to kind of leverage our access to that content and organizing it, and then you all taking it and blasting it out to your actual communities, because that's the goal, right? The goal is not to show each other how much we know. The goal is for everyone to be taking that content, repackaging it a bit, and blasting it out to their community to bring awareness to what we offer in the good decisions that folks can make when they're in pain, right? Those kind of things, the lifestyle behavior components, all of you feeding that to your communities is really changing the public perception of what they can do with their health, and that's the whole goal. I can't believe the open rate on that email sits right around 50%, which is insane. Right, and the amount of you who are tagging us in your public-facing content is equally insane. So thanks for everyone allowing that to be a medium that's helping to educate the public and hopefully really increase knowledge of all the different aspects of what physios offer. So thanks for being a part of Hump Day Hustling. Another huge one this year is everyone who donated to the Stand Haiti Global Giving Campaign. Thank you. I remember years ago when Justin and Morgan told me their long-term goal was to have a year-round functioning clinic in Haiti run by Haitian-trained physical therapists. I hope you all realize who donated to that campaign that you have made that possible. So they now have 2 Haitian-trained physical therapists who are providing rehabilitation services year-round in Port-au-Paix, in Haiti. That is unbelievable. Additionally, they dramatically beefed up their pediatric division because of the funds that were generated from all of you pushing the Global Giving Campaign. So I just want to acknowledge, and I hope you all realize what a gigantic thing you were a part of and what an incredible project you have supported. So thank you for everybody who was a part of the Stand Haiti Global Giving Campaign. And finally, thank you to everybody who came out to a live show, right? We love that there are so many ways now to engage with all of you. We love virtual ice. How awesome to have all these online programs blowing up, social media, obviously. But I think at the end of the day, we're always going to be a band that lives for the live show, because that's where we can really connect with you, where we can have those conversations in person, right? Where we can see where you're at, right? And on that note, thanks to everybody who brought us out to your favorite breweries, restaurants, CrossFit boxes, coffee shops. Like, thanks for bringing ice into your world, right, and allowing us to be a part of that. So to everybody who came out to a live show, to a live class, thanks for taking the time out of your schedule and the resources that are required to do that. Special thanks and final thing to anybody who was about it, right? So all of you know on day 2 of our live shows, we always celebrate everybody who worked out in our regular Saturday workout. So every live ice physio course, there is a workout after class on Saturday, which is tough because you were just in class for 10 hours oftentimes, right? 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And now we're asking you to ramp up your intensity and get after it with us. And more recently, those get after it sessions have gotten more serious because now we have CrossFit boxes available in most communities. So we are legitimately getting after it. And thanks to all of those who chose to be about it with us. We're going to keep saying it, right? We don't think people need more education. We think people need more inspiration. They know not to smoke, but they smoke. They know they should move more, but they don't. They know they should eat well, but they choose not to. People know better, but they don't do better. We've got to lead them because people follow people. We've got to inspire them. The only way you inspire people is from the front. Every one of you who worked out with us this year at any ice course around the country, you were a part of that because we're blasting out those videos and those pictures all across all of our social medias, and people are seeing that. And people are saying, gosh, I should be doing that. And people are saying, you know what, I'm going to do that. And that's how you bring people to change. So for everybody who chose to be about it, a heartfelt thank you. All of those different things I just mentioned, I want to say thank you for your support in 2019. And it has allowed us to nudge the profession towards a fitness-forward, manual therapy skilled, and psychologically informed beast. Right, and that's what we believe that PT version 2.0 is, and what we believe the physio rebrand needs to revolve around. So let's talk a bit about that, right? So first of all, thank you, right? And that's a little bit of reflection from 2019, which was an absolute banner year. But looking forward, which I'm always a bit more eager to do, I hope everybody realizes how much opportunity we are facing as a profession. It is absolutely massive. When people ask me, Jeff, what do you think the biggest problems we have are? My answer is always, I don't think we can handle the quantity of opportunity. I think it's too much, and I don't think we're ready for it. Look at some of the factors that are affecting that. Look at the gap in pain management that opioids have left. Right? That regular and high prescribing of opioids have left. Those people are in pain and they need help. Right? Who's going to come along them and guide them and give them compassionate care and help them with graded exposure and help them with their pacing and help bring them back to a functional existence? Who is going to do that? Physios are going to do that. Now, not just physios, right? But all conservative rehabilitation professionals are going to do that. And hopefully we have multiple guns on that, including mental health professionals. But we are going to be a major piece of that puzzle and a major filler of that gap that has been left. Look at the increasingly unsustainable cost of invasive medicine and how much of that is falling on the consumer. Deductibles are going up, copays are going up, medicine costs are going up, and people are being asked to foot that bill. And look at the simultaneous struggle for efficacy on so many of those interventions that have regularly and historically competed with physio. Look at situations like the knee debridement, right? In some of these surgeries that people have chosen in lieu of doing rehabilitation, they have chosen some of these surgeries they perceive as an easier or passive option. Look at the expense of those interventions and look at the lack of efficacy. So we are seeing all of those things point towards rehabilitation. Imaging is being seen as less of an answer. Even when you do get an image, the image often now reads that a lot of these findings are present on asymptomatic individuals. So even when you get one, your answer is now, well, yeah, this stuff might be there, but even most people who don't have pain have that stuff. So you really don't have an answer. You need to go get a thorough musculoskeletal exam. Where is that going to happen? Rehabilitation professionals, right? It's pointing towards physios, towards chiros, towards acupuncturists, towards people who are in the conservative care space. All of these things are creating this massive opportunity that we can fill. But if we do what we've always done, we're going to get what we've always gotten, right? We are not in the same space that we have historically been. We shouldn't look the same, which is why it is time now to rebrand this profession, to change the look of it. And I know we've been talking about this for years, but I think that certain things have come to light in the past couple of years that make this more readily accessible than ever before. So I just want to make a few challenges, 4 of them specifically coming into 2020, that we need to do to reframe how we look to the population, who knows about us, who utilizes us, and ultimately how effective we can be in shifting healthcare in this country. The first one is that we've got to stop relying on insurance companies and referral sources once and for all. That does not mean that we exclude anybody. We need to include everybody, but depend on nobody. And again, I know we've been saying that for a long time, but I think 2 things make that possible now. First of all the things I just mentioned as overflowing opportunities driving people towards our profession, but more specifically, we now have sufficient direct access across most states. Even you look at what happened in Texas. Okay, that's not great direct access, but you get a week or 2 with someone, you can give them a great message of resilience, of robustness, of movement optimism. Thank you, Greg Lehman, right? You can get in and give them a thorough evaluation, quell a lot of their fears, get them rolling on a program, see them in 5 or 6 days, fine tune that program, and if needed, direct someone that you believe is a high quality provider with that same psychologically informed message. Even in that direct access environment, you have that skill set. So we can now see people, if you can't, you know you are in the severe minority. We can now see people in a direct access environment. And our ability to bring awareness to those people of what we have to offer has never been at the level that it is now. And please understand the value of that the consumer knowing and wanting what you do drives everything. At the end of the day, consumer demand drives everything. If they value it enough, they will pay for it. If they value it enough, the people they pay will eventually pay for it. If you can get people saying, this is what I want, right, that will ultimately erase all other questions when it comes to demand. And our ability to do that has never been where it is now, right? Due to social media, due to the leaders that we have in our space who are helping facilitate that. Think of people like Sarah Heron in Full Draw Consulting. I mean, we now have individuals who are specializing in your ability to set up a functional practice and embed the community with your message. I think of folks like Will Boyd, like Danny Mattei, people who are right there to come alongside of you to help you bring awareness to what you offer to the community that you exist in, right? Through targeted social media campaigns, right? Through public forums, right? And getting folks into your shop and doing workshop and getting tons of people to see what it is you have to offer. At Onward Physio, we are doing that systematically, right? We're building out Onward University and showing you ways to go into your town through newspaper articles, through social media, through targeted email campaigns, through workshops. We are now figuring out systematically how to get into communities and raise awareness. We can do it, leverage these people, leverage these mediums, and leverage direct access. Everything is there for you to dominate consumer demand. My challenge to you in 2020 is that in your community, you drive the demand. Because when you drive consumer demand, you drive the bus. You can then tell insurance companies, look, if you want to pay me a reasonable price, we're in. If not, we're out. We don't need you anymore, right? We can say the same thing to referral sources. We are not trying to push anybody away. We are just saying there's a certain way that should be done. And in this area we're driving, and here's how it looks. It's just a different seat is all we're saying. We want every high quality professional on the bus. We want insurance companies on the bus, but we want them there if everybody values things fairly and everybody practices in a psychologically informed framework, right? My point is, you can now drive demand. You've got the people in the right place and the mediums in the right place. Get there in 2020. Number 2, how fit will you let me get you? I don't know if you're saying it to patients yet. I sure hope you are, but we need to become, as a profession, relentlessly fitness forward in 2020. We have to have a legitimate focus on strength and conditioning. We took a bit of a misstep, folks, as a profession, as the movement police. Let's all just admit that, right? We had the knees over the toes era. It happened. Can't happen, right? We tried to science the shit out of movement, right? It wasn't the right way to go, right? We have now largely backpedaled from that. Let's embrace that error. Let's not make it again. And let's realize it's about dosing. It's about exposure. It's about programming. It's about fear of movement. Think about the actual limiting things that exist. Look at these components in an individual's program and help them move their strength and conditioning life forward. Importantly, our clinics need to reflect this. Right. One thing I think I have unique access to is I go into a lot of clinics every year. Right. And one thing I don't see as often as I would like is equipment and setups that actually look as though they are developing legitimate strength and conditioning in the individuals that frequent the spaces. Right. I'm not saying you have to all of a sudden strip everything out of your clinic and outfit it like a CrossFit box. I am saying that every month or two, as we're buying new equipment, we should have a fitness forward mentality to those purchases, right? Every clinic needs to have a squat rack and every clinic needs to have a set of kettlebells. Like those are just things that are so usable across the platform of every single patient that are modifiable, that those are required pieces of equipment. If you don't have Zach Long typed up that beautiful PDF, required and essential strength and conditioning equipment for the physical therapy clinic. If you don't have that, shoot me an email and have a look at that list of equipment and think about over the next couple of years how you can pick up that equipment so that you're no longer just talking about doing this, you're actually doing this. You can't do it without the equipment, right? So our clinics, when you walk in, should give you that feeling of, boy, people get stronger here. Right? I was so proud of my brother's clinic back in motion, back in Michigan, where I worked for half of a decade. I walked in there on Christmas break and Thanksgiving break, and it was so cool. They had stripped out one whole room, put down rubber matting, got a squat rack, got a thing of kettlebells, bumper plates. The whole vibe of that clinic is now different because everyone in there knows that eventually that's where you're going. You're not leaving here with a TheraBand. Right? You're leaving here moving very heavy things effectively and pain-free. That's the end game for us. That's our goal for you. My challenge to you in 2020 is that every one of your patients is discharged with a legitimate strength and conditioning program. Everyone leaves your care with a program of how they are going to continue to develop their strength and conditioning over the next X amount of months, X amount of years. Some of you folks are going to use periodization programs. Some of you are going to embrace that routine is the enemy. There's a lot of ways to go about it, but everybody should leave or be discharged with a strength and conditioning program. My hope is that when they plateau with that program, they come back and see you, right? For you to reprogram and move their strength and conditioning and fitness forward. Why not get these people as far away from sickness as possible? Why not put as much armor around these individuals as possible? Why not get them as fit as possible? To do that, they've got to embrace the mentality. You've got to have the equipment and you've got to have the knowledge, right? You've got to be able to program strength and conditioning for every client. So I really hope that you embrace that and that every one of your clinics, every one of your clinicians leaves or is discharged with a legitimate strength and conditioning program. Number 3, lifestyle behaviors are no longer optional for inclusion. In 2020, we know enough about the impact of lifestyle health behaviors on musculoskeletal pain and human thriving. They are no longer optional for inclusion. You need to be asking on eval day, and this is the charge for 2020, you need to be asking at least about sleep, nutrition, and stress. If you want to go the whole bill of goods and go the proactivity route and ask about all the components of Move, Fuel, Recover, Endure, Connect, how wonderful the folks from Proactivity at APHBT have really showed us how all of those elements are combined to form human thriving, and how avoiding them leads to what Mike Eisenhart beautifully calls lack of healthy behavior disease, which does seem to be every problem that humans struggle with. But at a minimum, those three areas need to be asked about: sleep, nutrition, and stress. Now, you don't have to have the PSQI on board. You don't have to go quite that far with sleep, but you do need to subjectively be asking, after 30 minutes of waking without caffeine, do you feel fully alert, or are you still exhausted? Right? You need to be tracking that in some way or form. There's so many wearables now that are so reasonable in price. People should be able to track sleep. With nutrition, we don't need to be programming every nutrient of someone's diet. That's not even appropriate for us. We do need to be making sure our people don't eat like garbage, because it wreaks havoc on performance and pain. Make sure people aren't eating processed sugar. Give them a very slow step down to remove garbage from their diet. That's a reasonable intervention. And make sure that people aren't so stressed that they're sympathetically fried all the time. Make sure they have Headspace on board, or Calm, or some way to monitor their sympathetic overactivation. Find a way to measure their heart rate variability. Get HRV4, get them a Whoop. Right? We can now measure autonomic nervous system balance, which drives so much of pain and function. These things are no longer optional, they're required. Right? At least those three components. My charge for you in 2020 is that every client has a lifestyle behavior goal along with their more traditional goals. So they have a goal that targets around their sleep, around their nutrition or fuel, and around their stress levels. That you're looking at their whole nervous system and their whole ecosystem, and not just their hip flexor length. It's a different world. We need to act different. And lifestyle behaviors is a huge one. Finally, but not least important, my charge to you in 2020 is everyone needs to develop a telehealth arm to our practices. Why would we not meet people everywhere they want to be met? I'm not saying switch to a telehealth practice. I'm saying, why would you not have it available? When there's a snow day and you close all your clinics, why would you not be able to say, by the way, if you really want to chat with your physio, here's how you can do it today? When one of your most popular clinicians leaves and moves out of town, why would you not have a way for them to continue engaging with all the individuals they've built trust with? In rural communities, when folks can't get in or need to use public transportation, why would you not make it easier for them? For busy executives who can't carve out an hour and a half to drive across busy Boston traffic, why would you not have a way for them to hop on the computer? The more we know it's about programming and not about passive interventions, why would we not offer the most important thing we do in the easiest method possible? Why would we fight that when it's readily available? I gotta say cheers to Athletico. If you go to athletico.com and go to the bottom corner of their website, way to put right on there, free virtual assessment right now. What a great way to tell people we can meet you where you are immediately. That's beautiful, because the horse is way out of the barn. We are either going to get on board or we're going to fall behind again. I can't handle the second one. I don't know why we pass up on readily available opportunity to get our important message to people in need. I just can't get my head around that. Now, there's a few reasons why right now I think it's going to work. And let me tell you what they are. The PT Compact is blown up. We now have 18 states and growing where you can have a license across those states if one of them is your home state. Very soon, the majority of the country is going to be in reach where you can offer your services. You're no longer serving just your community. You're serving the nation. Why not embrace that? With the advent of social media, you can now market to the country. So for so many of you who have wonderful social media brands, why would you not leverage that awareness to convert some of those people into clients where you can actually offer high quality individualized information and create significant value? Why would you only market to the folks right around you when you can now market to everybody? Additionally, people are native to this technology. I was shocked when Rob Binding in our inaugural cohort on the telehealth practice last year, well, just wrapped up last week. I was shocked when he went through all of the survey data showing how open even older adults are to receiving care in this environment, how satisfied they are once they've received it. Folks, it's an all play. Everybody wants to be in the space, right? It's an all play. So let's get it. Let's be there. If people are happy with it, they want it, and we believe our services are valuable, let's make them accessible. All of those things, the blowing up of the PT Compact, the ability to market and leverage our national brands, and the fact that people are comfortable and satisfied in the space, all says it's a green light. I would finish by saying I think it's our responsibility. I mean, how long have we talked about our need to be a voice of reason in a moment of panic? And when people are in acute pain, they make horrendous decisions. The Pain Reframe podcast that Tim Flynn and I do, and now along with Adam and Liz, is largely based on that fact that when people are in acute pain, they make horrible decisions because they Google things and they're led down bad avenues. If we believe that our message received early and received fully can combat that, then it's our responsibility to make it accessible. I really believe that telehealth, because of all the things that are coming together right now, is going to be our number one way to get that message of movement optimism and resilience right to people early on while they're having acute pain and prone to poor decision making. If we believe that, it's our responsibility to act. In 2020, I challenge you by the end of the year to have a telehealth option as an arm of your physio practice. Just make sure it's another way that people who, if they choose to, or if the research suggests it's the best way to go about it, if it's the most economical, that people have the option. Let's stop putting barriers in the way to receiving our message and our care, because at least I believe that it's deeply valuable and can completely change the healthcare environment in this country. We are positioned like never before, but because of that, we have to behave as never before. We have to make these changes on the way that we look and the things that we focus on. We have to make these changes in the way that our services are accessed. We have to make these changes on the way that people are made aware in each individual community and across the country of what we do. It's all there. Whether we get it is on us. Never has more opportunity presented itself. If we don't capitalize on it, it's only us to blame. Those are 4 challenges in 2020 that I believe can reframe the way that our profession is looked at across the healthcare system, and more importantly, I believe can fundamentally change the amount of humans that are struggling with pain and the amount of humans that are failing to thrive and live the life that they deserve. We have every mode available. It's on us. PTOnIce.com. Go get some, right? Let me know if you have any questions. Please respond with thoughts, with comments. Always appreciate that. Folks, have a killer Monday. I've got a call right now. I've got to hop on. Cheers. Everybody, get after it.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.